All right. Let's go into share screen. And
Okay.
you should see our letters. Do you see the letters there?
Yes.
Good. All right. When I point to the letter, I want you to tell me the letter and the sound it makes.
G, G, W, W, X, X, O, N, G, on, U, N, G, on, Q, U, Qua.
And now I'm going to do the vowels, and I want you to make sure you say the keyword with it.
A, apple, A, O, octopus, A, E, ed, E, U, up, A, I, H, E.
Very good. Okay. Oh, wait. Do you not see my, there we go.
Okay.
All right. Now you see me. Do you see my document camera? Yes, you do. Okay, last time we were together, do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last time we were together, we talked about decoding multisyllabic words, words with more than one syllable. So if I have the word pragmatic, repeat that.
Pragmatic.
How many syllables does it have?
3.
Good. So if I have the 3 syllables here, what's our first syllable in pragmatic?
Prad.
And how would I spell that?
P-R-A-D.
Ah, P-R-A-D. Is it pragmatic or pragmatic?
G.
Good, good. So there's pragmatic. What's our second syllable?
Mad. M-A-D.
And listen real closely. Pragmatic.
Mat. M-A-T.
And the last syllable? Pragmatic.
I-C.
Very good. I liked how you remembered the I-C on the end and not the I-C-K or I-K. Good job. All right, next one is problematic. Go ahead and repeat that.
4.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's our first syllable in problematic?
Prob.
Okay, how do you spell that?
P-R-O-M.
Is it problematic or problematic?
B.
Prob, okay. Now problematic.
L-E-M.
Good.
Add.
Is it add or at? Problematic? Problemat. It kind of sounds like a D in there, doesn't it? But it's problematic.
So
we have problem at
A-T.
And what's our last one?
Ick. I-C.
Very good. All right, we're gonna move on. And today, we're gonna do the same thing, multisyllabic words, only we're gonna add a prefix to it. And so, prefix, if I have the word disinfect, what's my prefix?
This.
And what's my base word?
Facts.
Disinfect. Say it.
Disinfect. Infect.
Infect. And how many syllables in infect?
2.
Good. So we put 2 cards down, and this stands for our prefix. So what's our prefix? How would you spell it?
D-I-C. D-I-S.
D-I-S. Good catch. Disinfect.
N-I-N. Fact. F E C T.
Ooh, good job. Now say it all together.
Disinfect.
Good job. Well done. Next one, subcontract. Subcontract. Say it.
Sub.
That's our prefix.
Yes.
Okay, how would you spell that?
SUV.
Good. And what's our base word? Subcontract.
Oh, contract.
And then how many syllables in contract?
2.
Good. And what's our first syllable and how would you spell it?
CON. Tract.
Tract.
RACT.
Wow, awesome. Very good. All right. Now, one last one. And the word is non-toxic. What's our prefix?
Non.
How would you spell it?
NON.
Good. And what's our base word?
Toxic. Toxic.
And how many syllables?
2.
Good. And so how would we spell toxic?
Tox. TOX.
Good.
Ick. I see. T. I see.
I see. And go ahead and read that for me.
Non-toxic.
Perfect. Okay, now we're going to go into get in here. We're going to read some words, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to go to our word list, and we're going to start out with our 3.2 words. And remember, do you see them?
Yeah.
Okay. And well, I think we're good. You don't see me, but you see the words, right?
Well, I see your screen in the corner.
Okay, perfect. All right. So 3.2 words. Remember that when we read the words and if there's a suffix at the end, we're going to go problem, problems. All right, go ahead and start. You can go across or down, whatever you want. These starred words are nonsense words.
Problem, problems, insists, distrust, 100, mankind, mindset, tantrum, compress, consults, disrupts.
And let's just do 2 of these nonsense words.
Okay. Unmessed, glib, max.
Good job. Now let's go to 3.3 words.
Object, product,
Oops, sorry.
insect, subject, expect, impact, conflict, instructs,
Good catch.
contracts,
Oop,
inject,
look at that one more time. Intact. That's right.
inject, distract, inspects, inflicts.
Inflicts. And what's the base word here? I think you just said the whole word.
Contracts.
Very good. All right, now 3.4 words. And these have the prefixes on them.
Encompass.
And instead of encompass, say the pass is a schwa.
Encompass.
Encompass.
Misconduct.
Good.
Misconduct. Baseball. Basketball. Atlantic. Fantastic. Rocket ship. establishes, establishes,
Establishes.
establishes,
Good.
exhibits, exhibits,
Good.
disconfects,
Oop, don't put an F in there.
disconnects.
Disconnects. So when you take something apart, you're disconnecting it. Good.
Wisconsin.
You got it. Try it one more time. Are you a football? Wisconsin. And what's this?
Vikings.
Huh?
That's Minnesota. There's a football team in Wisconsin. Wisconsin! I just said.
You were trying too hard, Paul. You did it all along. Wisconsin Badgers.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a college team.
It's a college team, exactly. Good job.
Non-toxic.
Good.
Appendix. Consensus. Inhabits.
Ooh, make sure it's not, you're saying an A here.
Inhibits.
Good.
Admonishes.
Very good. I want to take a look at, do you have a piece of paper and a pencil? I loved how you did Wisconsin. There's a football team there. There's a football team in Wisconsin. All right, on your piece of paper, write the word encompass. This one right here, ENCOMPASS. And do you have any idea what encompass means?
A compass?
Encompass. Encompass.
No.
It means to surround or enclose. So can you write that down? Surround. And let me write that for you. Surround, S-U-R-R-O-U-N-D, surround or enclose. So have you ever had those chocolate covered cherries?
Yeah.
Okay, so the chocolate surrounds the cherry. So the chocolate encompasses the cherry. So it surrounds it. So it encompasses it. And that's what encompass means. All right. Now, let me clear this. Let's go back and let's just take a look at some of our 3.2 high frequency words. Go ahead and read those.
Problems? That's the one I see.
Oh, wait a minute. Those are words. High frequency. There we go.
New, other, after, over, down, another, under.
Good. 3.3.
Mr. No, walk, water, right, Mrs. No, talk, right.
And for no, this no, can you use this no in a sentence?
I know how to do.
Good, good. And for 3.4 high frequency.
They say always, people are today, say our may way away.
And say this one more time.
Says.
Is it says? Says, right? Says. And what kind of hour is this?
Hour. Like, it's 1 hour. It's 24 hours in a day.
Okay, very good. Very, very good. All right, now we're going to go into word list reading. And go ahead and read these words.
Disconnect. And tin.
And I don't know if you remember, but this INC, it almost is like a INK. And what is that sound?
Ink.
Ink. Remember
Ink,
IN?
yeah. This ink. Tink. This tink.
Distinct. Very good. Indistinct. Good.
Dict. What's a dict? Miss edit. Miss
Good.
edit.
Good.
Misconduct. Translate.
Oop, let's take our time on that one.
Translate.
So what's our prefix there?
Transatlantic.
There you go.
Exact.
Good.
Subproduct.
Good.
Nonprofit.
Excellent.
Sublet.
Oop, take our time.
Sublimit.
Perfect.
Sublevel.
Good.
In prison.
Good.
Non-contract.
All together?
Non-contract.
Good.
This is Establish.
You got it.
Disestablish.
There you go. Disestablish. Good.
Subindex.
Perfect. All right. Let's take a look at our next ones. These I am going to record. So take your time on these and go ahead whenever you're ready.
Misconduct. Mid-Atlantic. Subindex. Imprison.
Good.
Subedit. Misedit. Subcontract. Non-metal.
Good.
Disinvest. Disestablish.
Perfect.
Encompass. Mischannel. Nonprofit. Misaddress. Misconstruct.
Okay, the only one that I'm going to say that wasn't quite right, but yet you were very, very close, was this one. And instead of saying the short A, let's do a schwa sound. Oops. Let's do a schwa sound there.
Encompass.
That's right. Encompass. Encompass. And what does encompass mean?
Surround or enclose.
Surround or enclose. Okay, so think of that chocolate covered cherry. That chocolate is encompassing the cherry. All right, now I might have to make this bigger because, can you see that better? We're going to do some sentence reading, and we're not going to read all of them today. We're going to just kind of do a shortened version of that. What I want you to do is read number 1 to yourself and think about the phrasing, how you're going to phrase it, and then I want you to read it out loud to me.
Okay.
No, my truck's terrible.
If you unkennel the dogs, they can go for a run today.
Good. And what would unkennel the dogs mean?
Like open up the kennel.
That's right. And and your dog does not like that, huh?
Yeah.
She heard kennel and she's like, no way, I don't want to go in my kennel. All right. Can you get your pen out for me?
Yeah, I have it.
Well, I mean on the computer. Can you annotate for me?
Yes.
Okay. I want you in sentence 1, I want you to circle a word that has a prefix in it. Okay, and what is the prefix? Circle the prefix. There it is, un. Very good. Now circle a word that has a suffix in it. Good job. Circle the suffix. You knew what I was thinking, not what I said. Good job. Number 2, go ahead and read that to yourself. And then as you're reading it, I want you to scoop the phrases like you would, like you say it, like you read it.
The math was exact and way off.
And way off. Good job. Now let's take a look at this word right here. What is this word?
Enact.
And what's that EX make?
Exact.
That's right, inexact, inexact. The math was inexact and way off. And if we didn't know what inexact meant, how could we tell by our clues in our sentence?
The math and the way off.
What does inexact mean? If the math is inexact.
Perfect.
Exact, exact. If it was exact, that would be perfect, right? So inexact, what's our prefix in mean? Do you remember?
Oh, not perfect.
Not perfect, that's right. And if we didn't know what it meant, we could look at this, way off, and that would give us a clue, okay? But knowing our prefix meanings, not perfect, good job. Let's look at, oh, I keep hitting the, let's see, let's go to number 5. And do the same thing. Go ahead and mark those phrases.
You must always disconnect the drum pad from the stand.
Good job. Okay, we're gonna stop with those. We're gonna go back to.
Oh, wait, jump the word.
Yeah.
Dragging it in people's houses and everything.
Okay, and let's see, when I say what is, you're going to point to them, or what says, I don't know if you heard that. What says, what did you say? Good. What says t?
T.
Good. What says wa?
W. Wa.
What says x?
X.
What says unk?
O-N-K. Unk.
Listen carefully. What says?
U-N-K.
Very good. That was onk you had. Unk. U-N-K. Very good. What says olt?
O-L-T.
Good. What says
E-R.
Good job. All right, let's go on to our document camera, which you still see. We're going to work on multisyllabic words again. And, oh, actually, I think I want to do this for you. We're going to stay here.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you remote control. And multisyllabic words. Spell Atlantic. Atlantic. Oh, excellent. I like how you capitalized it.
Yeah. I'm not myself. Hi, how you doing?
Atlantic. Perfect. Now read the word.
Atlantic.
Very good. You can hit the trash can and we're going to do one more. And the word is, and be careful with this, exhibit. Exhibit. Remember, we have 2 letters that make either X or eggs. Oh, you found it. Good. Exhibit.
Pivot.
Exhibit. It sounds like exhibit, but it's exhibit. Perfect. Now you can hit erase and read the word first.
Exhibit.
Perfect. The next ones have the prefixes in them. Discontent. Repeat it.
Disconnect.
Oh, discontent.
Discontent.
Perfect. And you can use those blue prefix tiles. Discontent. Wait a minute, mine aren't moving.
Oh. Mine are.
There you go. What's our prefix?
This.
Okay, and can you use those blue tiles for that?
Oh.
There you go.
Con.
Good. You can do that.
Net.
Oh, discontent.
Oh.
Discontent.
Oh. T. Why can't there be a tent?
That would certainly make it simpler, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Moving.
Good, and read the word.
Discontent.
Good, now hit trash can.
Mm-hmm.
Non-profit. Repeat.
Non-profit.
Assuming that's what it was. So I turned around real slow. And started pulling up, turning on the corner. All of a sudden, jumped up in the trash. Oh, right, that's what it is. Yeah, so it's right, and you can't do this well. There's no water in the softener, and the softener water wasn't turned off, so I assume it's not the softener. It's definitely not the water here.
So it's the trap.
Actually, it was back up a little
Is
bit.
it, would it be backing up?
No, it shouldn't. Just back up on your.
This nonprofit.
So when that bounces,
Nonprofit.
Oh,
kind of trickles in there a little bit.
okay. There's no IT.
No, I just put it on.
Oh, you did?
The
Okay.
hose got all, I'm just putting that little bit around for it to pull the last one for a minute or two.
Right? You don't need that.
Perfect. Now read it to me.
Nonprofit.
All right, you're doing good. We're gonna abbreviate that too. Now what I want to, how do you spell, we're gonna look at some high frequency words. Do you know how to spell people?
Yeah.
How do you spell it? Just go ahead and tell me and I'll write it as I spell it, as you spell it.
EOPLE.
Perfect. That was one we were gonna work on, but you don't need to work on it. And how about hour? Like it's our turn to go outside for recess. How would you spell that, hour?
That's an O. You are.
Good. And then we have 24 hours in a day. How do you spell that one?
HOR.
H-O-R?
Oh, you.
H-O-U.
You are.
There you go. H-O-U-R. So we have hour, O-U-R, in hour. Okay, so always remember that. Good job. Don't really need to work on those. Now go ahead and get your piece of paper out and we're gonna do spelling. And I am going to make sure you can see me. There we go. Okay, the sounds, we're gonna do some prefixes. Dis, repeat it.
Yes.
And then go ahead and spell it to me as you're spelling it.
DIS.
Good. Sub, repeat it.
Sub. C-U-B.
C-U, what'd you say?
C-U-B.
C-U-B?
Yeah.
Sub? What does C-U-B spell?
Sub.
Ah, that'd be cub. C-U-B is cub. What's, yes, U-B, very good. Sub, good. Trans, repeat it.
Trans. T-R-A-N-S.
Good job. Did you write it?
I didn't get the S down.
You did what?
I just put tran.
Oh, okay. Good. Non,
N-O-N.
good. Now we're going to write real words. Sublimit, repeat it.
Sublimit. Got it.
And go ahead and spell it to me.
S-U-B-L-I-B-I-T.
Okay, that would be sublibit. What if I wanted sublimit?
M, not B.
Very good, very good. Make sure you take your time, okay? Non-constant. Now, with that tunt at the end, it has a schwa in it. So it really is non-constant. Go ahead and repeat that.
Non-constant.
Only the stunt is spelled stant. Non-constant.
Got it.
All right, that was fast. Go ahead and read it to me, or spell it to me.
N-O-N-C-O-N-S-T-A-N-T.
Very good. Now, inexact. Inexact. This is a tricky one.
I got it.
What?
I remember it from the.
All right, let's see how you did.
INEXACT.
Oh my goodness, good job, good job. There were a time when you were having trouble with that AX, the X part. So, all right, let's write some high frequency words. Away.
Away. AWAY.
Good. Says. That's a tricky one. How do you spell say?
SAY.
That's right. And says, just add one letter to say.
SAYS.
Very good. Good. One more. Always. Always. And how do you spell it?
ALWAYS.
Perfect. Well done. All right, now phrases. For 1 hour. Go ahead and repeat that.
For 1. Got it.
Now read it to yourself to make sure you have it the way you want it. For 1 hour. Okay, so now show it to me. Am I going to be able to read it? Oh, very good. For 1 hour. Excellent. How about some people? Repeat it.
Some people.
Good. Well done. And when he says. Go ahead and show that to me. Perfect. All right, now sentence. The steps were unlevel, so I did twist my leg. Ooh, this is a long one, so repeat that. The steps were unlevel, so I did twist my leg.
The steps were unlevel.
So I did twist my leg.
So I did twist my leg.
Okay. And let me know if you need me to repeat that.
Got it.
All right, now I am going to read it and I want you to point to each word to make sure we have it correct, okay? The steps were unlevel, so I did twist my leg.
Got it.
All right, do you have capitalization and punctuation?
Yes.
All right, now I need you to circle these words, okay? The, were, so, I, my. Now find all the words that have a prefix or a suffix and underline the base word and circle the suffix or the prefix.
Steps.
Good. And what other one? There's one other one that has a prefix. And what's the base word?
Level.
Good job. Now, what I want you to do is tap the word twist for me.
Twist.
Tap.
Twist.
Okay. Okay, good job. And how did you spell twist?
Twist.
Perfect. Scoop the syllables in any multisyllabic word. So we have unlevel. Go ahead and scoop the syllables there. And how did you spell unlevel?
UNLEVEL.
Perfect. Now let me see it. Let me see if I can.
All these marks.
Let's see. The steps were unlevel, so I did twist my leg. Very good. I want you to look at the word where. Or I'm sorry, were. The steps were unlevel. You have where. So how would we spell were? Where are we? Here. Were just takes out one letter. And what letter would we take out of where to make it were?
The H.
The H. Very good. Okay. Now I need you to scoop the sentence into phrases, and I want you to read it, reread the sentence to me with that phrasing.
Okay, the steps were unlevel, so I did twist my leg.
I like it. Very, very good. Okay, we're only going to do one sentence, kind of abbreviating that too. Now, the last thing we usually do is read a passage. And today, instead of working on your fluency and your comprehension of reading fluency and comprehension, we're going to work on listening comprehension. And I'm going to read you a chapter from Holes. Have you ever read this book?
No.
By Louis, I think it's Louis or Louis Sekar. There's also a movie out. It's a little bit old, but it was a popular book quite a few years ago. But I'm going to read you the first chapter, and the first chapter is only a couple pages long. And we're going to kind of build those images in our head, all right? There was no lake at Camp Green Lake. There once was a very large lake here, the largest lake in Texas. That was over 100 years ago. Now it's just a dry, flat wasteland. What do you picture at Camp Green Lake?
Sand, just like sand and cacti and.
Ah, okay, okay. Very dry, something very dry. Now, have you ever seen a lake or a pond that's kind of dried up? What does it look like?
It's a huge hole.
A huge hole. And what does the dirt look like?
Wet, like wet.
Okay, maybe a little muddy, right? Were you ever at Lake Zarinsky when they drained the lake?
Oh, no.
No? Okay. Well, and also, it has like these cracks in it. It's kind of muddy, but yet it has kind of cracks in it too. So if you can picture that, there was a lake there a long time ago, but not anymore. There used to be a town of Green Lake as well. The town shriveled and dried up along with the lake and the people who lived there. The town shriveled and dried up. What does that mean? What do you picture there?
Like the houses are falling down and like they're leaning or they're on the like sideways.
Okay. So they're old and nobody's taking care of them, so they're kind of falling down. Very good.
People left.
People left. There's nobody around. During the summer, the daytime temperature hovers around 95 degrees in the shade. If you can find any shade, that's not much shade in a big dry lake. Tell me why 95 degrees in the shade might be relevant. Why, what's the big deal about 95 degrees in the shade? What happens when you go in the shade?
like you're cooled off a little bit.
That's right. It's a little bit cooler, but 95 degrees, that's pretty hot, isn't it? It usually doesn't even get, not very often does it get 95 degrees in Omaha. The only trees are 2 old oaks on the eastern edge of the lake. What do you imagine? Can you see the trees? Okay. A hammock is stretched between the 2 trees, and a log cabin stands behind that. Do you know what a hammock is?
Yeah.
Have you ever laid in a hammock? And what's your hammock look like?
It's like connected to 2 things, and well, it was blue with
Okay.
pillows in it.
And do you see the log cabin behind it? So we have 2 trees with a hammock. And what's the log cabin look like? Is it a big log cabin house? Is it a 1-room log cabin? What do you imagine?
Like a little cabin, and it has like moist, like what is that called?
Moss?
Moss, yeah, on it.
Okay. It has some green moss on it. Maybe because it's an old cabin. All right. The campers are forbidden to lie in the hammock. It belongs to the warden. The warden owns the shade. So what is a warden? We have campers, so they're at a camp. And what's a warden?
The person that owns the camp?
Could be, or the person in charge. Okay, the person in charge. And it says the warden owns the shade. What does that mean?
He or she owns the hammock and in the cabin.
Okay, and if he owns the shade, do you think he's letting anyone else in the shade?
No.
No. So if it's 95 in the shade, what does that make you think? What kind of person is the warden? If he owns the shade and probably won't let anyone in.
Mean.
He's mean, okay? Out on the lake, rattlesnakes and scorpions find shade under rocks and in the holes dug by the campers. Do you know what a scorpion is?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a scorpion?
Well, yeah, a fake one,
A
but
fake one, but not in real life? Okay, so out on the lake, rattlesnakes and scorpions find shade under rocks and in holes dug by the campers. So why do you think the campers might be digging holes?
try to get shade in them, maybe.
Maybe they're trying to get some shade. Okay. Here's a good rule to remember about rattlesnakes and scorpions. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you, usually. So can you see a bunch of campers around? And when I say campers, what are you thinking of?
Okay.
Are you thinking of people in RVs and campers, or are you thinking of like when you go to camp in the summer, you're a camper? What did you have in your mind?
The campers when you go to camp.
Okay, good. And so can you see the rattlesnakes and scorpions? They're kind of where? They're off to the side, and the campers are minding their own business. The rattlesnakes and scorpions are minding their own business. Being bitten by a scorpion or even a rattlesnake is not the worst thing that can happen to you. You won't die, usually. So, what are you thinking about that? Is it okay to get bit by a rattlesnake or a scorpion? Would you want? No, I wouldn't want to either. Sometimes a camper will try to be bitten by a scorpion. What? Or even a small rattlesnake. Then he will get to spend a day or 2 recovering in his tent instead of having to dig a hole out on the lake. Now, are you changing your mind about why they're digging a hole? Yeah, what do you think they're doing? Why do you think they're digging a hole? Why would the warden maybe be making them dig a hole?
For more shade for him.
More shade for him. Could be, could be. But you don't want to be bitten by a yellow spotted lizard. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. You will die a slow and painful death. What does the yellow spotted lizard look like to you? Is it a big, is it a big thing or a little thing?
It's actually little. It's a little one.
Okay.
9 black spots.
Okay. And have you seen a yellow spotted lizard? No. Okay. This is just in your imagination. All right. You will die a slow and painful death. Always. If you get bitten by a yellow spotted lizard, you might as well go into the shade of the oak trees and lie in the hammock. There's nothing anyone can do to you anymore. Now, do you have a good, after we've talked about it, do you have a good visual of what's happening here? I'm going to read it one more time without stopping so you can again visualize it, all right? There's no lake at Camp Green Lake. There once was a very large lake here, the largest lake in Texas. That was over 100 years ago. Now it's just a flat wasteland. There used to be a town of Green Lake as well. The town shriveled and dried up along with the lake and the people who lived there. During the summer, the daytime temperature hovers around 95 degrees in the shade, if you can find any shade. That's not much shade in a big dry lake. The only trees are 2 old oaks on the eastern edge of the lake. A hammock is stretched between the 2 trees, and a log cabin stands behind that. The campers are forbidden to lie in the hammock. It belongs to the warden. The warden owns the shade. Out on the lake, rattlesnakes and scorpions find shade under rocks and in the holes dug by the campers. Here's a good rule to remember about rattlesnakes and scorpions. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you, usually. Being bitten by a scorpion or even a rattlesnake is not the worst thing that can happen to you. You won't die, usually. Sometimes a camper will try to be bitten by a scorpion or even a rattlesnake. Then he will get to spend a day or 2 recovering in his tent instead of having to dig a hole out on the lake. But you don't want to be bitten by a yellow spotted lizard. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. You will die a slow and painful death. Always. If you get bitten by a yellow spotted lizard, you might as well go into the shade of the oak trees and lie in the hammock. There's nothing anyone can do to you anymore. All right, that's the first chapter of Holes. Does it sound intriguing? Wonder what the campers are doing and why are they digging the holes. All right, I'm going to stop my